that everybody needs. But people don't know much about emotional intelligence. Does anybody know anything about emotional intelligence? Anything about it? You guys are not too emotional. Do you know anything? What do you think?
Your feelings.
Your feelings. It's about feelings. You think it's about feelings? What else? Donna?
Ability to control your emotions.
Your ability to control your emotion, like a magician. I control you. And do you think it's important? Do you think everybody is emotional?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh? Do you think?
Yeah.
Yes.
They say Filipinos are sobra emotional. Is it true?
Yes.
And everybody's going, yes. But you, for example, are from where? India. Do you think you're emotional? Yes. Now some people mistake expression with emotions. Meaning if you are crying, or always angry, that means you're emotional. But if you are that one guy in the office that passes by and you say hello and he doesn't say anything, right? You say, oh, he's cold, right?
Makes sense.
He's so cold. He has no feelings, right? No hot, no cold. Is it true?
Yes.
No. He is or she is as emotional as all of you are. If you are a human being, you are filled with emotions. And emotions, today we're going to talk about it. We're not only going to introduce to you how to be emotionally intelligent, but we're also going to give you techniques on how to manage these emotions. Because if you don't manage these emotion wells, it will have a negative impact on your lives. And negative impacts in different aspects. In relationships. In relationships, if you're not emotionally intelligent, you will have fights with your loved ones, right? You have conflicts every day, right? You have conflicts with your workers, with your colleagues, with the people you love. The people closest to you, you will have conflicts. And these conflicts will arise. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Come here, come here, come here. Just waited for you. Come. These guys are super emotional. But you want to teach with me? No problem, no problem. So anyway, I would like to talk to you about emotional intelligence. See, there you go. Have a seat, have a seat. Come. He's like, no, I want to teach. He wants to kick me out of my class. Very often, if you are not used to identifying your emotions, you will be very weak in managing the emotions of others. So when you're angry, what do? Tell me. Donna, when you're angry with someone upsets you.
Habits. Ignoring and keeping quiet.
And then what happens to you?
Of course.
Huh?
Of course, everything, all the emotions piling up till they just...
And what do when you don't express your emotions? You express it in your mind. And you go to bed, and you're going to bed. I hate him, I hate that person. Oh, I will never forgive the person. Oh, I just wish I could just beat the person. And you continue, and you continue. And the machines never stop. All the energy is going in the wrong place because you are not managing your own emotions. Well, emotional intelligence is probably the single most important class and learning that you're going to be able to actually take with you in all your day-to-day lives. So I will introduce to you emotional intelligence next. No, you want to do this. There's a little arrow. It's okay, I know it's technology, Esther, it's not a problem. You don't need to be emotionally intelligent to do that. Okay? Now, emotions are data. So, I want you to raise your hand if you felt this way recently. Anxious. Raise your hand and keep your hands up. Anxious. Frustrated and annoyed. What is the noise I'm hearing? Frustrated and annoyed. Irritated. Have you felt irritated in the past? Come on, keep your hand up. I don't want you to raise. If you raised it, keep it up. Angry. Have you felt anger this past days and weeks? Come on, keep it up.
Yes.
What is this? How about lonely, sad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Keep it up. You don't keep it up. If you felt any of these, I didn't say all of it. If you felt one of it, keep it up. Disillusion. You bring it up because I know you felt this. Bring it up. He's trying to trick me. He's trying to trick me. He's not going to trick me. Tired. Have you ever felt tired?
Yes.
You're tired because you can't even lift your hand.
Yes.
Sad. Have you felt sad in the past week? Okay. Now take your hand down if those feelings resulted in any of these. Poor communications, wasted time, stress, poor teamwork. I guess some of you are getting it. Headache. Anyone has major headache? It's an emotional trigger. It's not physical. Sleeplessness. You can't sleep. Insomnia. Because your mind is working and working and working 24 hours a day. Muscle tension. Back pains. Do any of you have back pains? Yeah.
Yes.
Back pains. Okay. Okay. Back pains. Muscle tension. And physical problems. Right? That means all of you have felt these. These are emotions. But you see, all of these are the result of not being able to manage these feelings. Because you see, if these feelings are not managed, they will guarantee result these. That means you will not be successful. That means you will not be happy. That means you will not succeed in life because you have not been taught on how to handle this. Now, we go to school and they teach us IQ, right? They teach us, if you read a lot of books and if you learn 1 + 1 = 2, you're going to make it in life. But nobody taught you, if your friend in school said, Faith, I hate you. Nobody taught you to learn how to manage that. So you respond, okay, I hate you too. Or you just say, ignoring, right? These are the two behaviors, right? You either hit back, you're an idiot. Oh yeah, you're a big idiot. Or, I hate you. Right? Sometimes you see it in relationship. Ignoring or fight. Ignoring or fight. That's all they teach you in life. But there are other techniques you can learn that will make you powerful. How would you like to be a Kung Fu expert of emotions? When somebody's angry, you turn it, flip it, and then the person goes, oh, sorry. How would you like that? Without impacting your life. So emotions are data, right? Data is coming in. All a bunch of information. Next. E in motion is energy in motion, right? So Einstein said we use only 10% of our brain. Do you believe that? Do you believe we only use 10% of our brain?
Even less.
Maybe less. We don't know. Maybe we're not even using our brain at all. Sure, some people are not. But you see, I have good news for you. I'm going to first ask you a question before telling you the good news. You know about IQ, right? Anybody knows about IQ?
Yes.
Who can tell me a little bit about IQ?
Is it like a genius kind of genius?
It's your level, right, of intelligence. It's a way to measure your level of intelligence. Okay? So we're born and we have a certain level IQ. Okay? Usually IQ, you have different types of ranges of IQ. If you're usually 135 and above, you're considered a genius, right? Now, if you have an IQ of 135, can he, Elmer, become 150? Can he increase the IQ? To unlimited, right? Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Wrong. The only way you can increase your IQ is if I decided to lock you inside a library for the next 20 years and told you to read as many books as possible. But even if you did that, you would not be able to increase your IQ by more than 10 points at the maximum. Now, EQ is emotional intelligence. That's tapping into the 90% balance of your brain. And guess what? The great news is the EQ has no limit. That means that in your lifetime, you can become an EQ Kung Fu master. That's right. But you have to practice it. You see, it is not an easy thing. It is like a muscle going to the gym every day. You're going to learn some techniques and you need to practice these techniques. And I'm going to give you real life example of conflicts and how to handle the conflicts next time you're fighting with your loved ones or with your colleagues. So Quran says Allah gave you a brain, but it's up to you to learn how to use it. Everybody is very focused in learning, in picking up books, in saying I need a coach, I need a guru, I need to watch this, I need to watch that. The power lies within you. You have all the power. It will not be a guru who will unlock your powers. You can unlock them now, today. After this event, you can begin to develop your emotional intelligence. Next. Next. It's the error. So what are emotions? We talked about it. Data, right? An organized response to people and events, right? You get data and you respond to it. These responses can include changes in our physiology, like for example, if you're angry, what happened? Huh? Your skin teeth, your wrinkles come out, and you look ugly. Your physiology, we almost become like a monster, right? He hates you. Right? The physiology changes. Sometimes they're even scary to look at a person getting angry. The physiology changes. Okay? Your thoughts begin to change. They begin to be what? What are your thoughts begin to be?
Negative.
Exactly. They begin to become negative. Right? I'm angry. I'm going to kill you. How am I going to kill you? Let me think of ways to kill you. Maybe I'll make you suffer in my head. Those are all crazy stuff. We're all thinking that, correct? And it also can have a change in your relationships, right? If I'm angry with you, right? And you are going to be different with me, right? So you're going to have different feelings about me. And the relationship will change. Many times, there's a lot of people moving in and out, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. So the important thing is to understand that this response to whatever happens from this data coming in will affect everything in your life. Next. So what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the capacity for recognizing our own feelings and those of others, for motivating ourselves and for managing emotions well in ourselves and in our relationship. That's the power of emotional intelligence. Next. Okay, so let me ask you a question. If I ask you, are you happy? What will you tell me?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Liars. I love human beings because they lie. We're the greatest liar on the planet. And the reason we're the greatest liars on the planet is because we don't want to reveal the truth. Because if we reveal the truth, you will hurt me. This is what you did in school when I told you the truth about I can't. We are not often happy because we aspire to do great things. And in our mind, we identify those incredible things as our goals. And if we don't reach our goals, we're not happy. So we put a contingency on our happiness. I will be happy when I meet the man of my dreams. The little prince, he must come on a white horse. And he must have a Cartier watch and a big fat bank account. And then you have this big guy coming. And he's coming out of a Yaris. And you're like, and then you have this different expectation. And you're unhappy. You're like, well, I could get better. Well, maybe I'll just wait for the right guy. Right? Or maybe I'll wait for the right thing. Or maybe I'll be rich when I get a house in the Philippines for my mom. When I can buy a single family home, I will be happy. But until then, I don't deserve happiness. Huh? You know something about this? Come on, tell me the truth. All of you think like this. And you deserve happiness now. And when we talk about the normal curve, is we talk about the fact that 95% of the world population falls into normality. You can be happy by also being normal. By not setting these crazy goals, by not aspiring. I know you, Maria, no? When I have all of this, and when I can have this, and this. And then until then, your life is not being lived. Right? You're ignoring the moment. And the moments are important because you know why? You're alive now. You may not be tomorrow morning. So why are we aspiring for something we have no control over, which is the time? What we have control over is what? The now, the moment. Are you happy now? Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you're happy. Why are you happy now, Cynthia?
Because I'm alive.
Because you are alive?
Yeah.
Stole that sentence from me. I want $5 after this. Because you're alive. I tell this every day to people. And sometimes they're like, yeah, he's right. I'm alive. I should be happy. And then the next day I see them coming. I'm like, did you forget you're alive again? Oh, no, I'm happy. Right? What do you need to be happy? What do you need to be happy now? What do you need? Right? These questions are yours to answer, not me.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind?
If you have peace in your mind, you're free, you're happy.
And how can you have peace in your mind?
By just thinking positively and take each day as it comes.
By putting your attitude in the right place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And always pinching yourself, right? Because you always have people saying, life is difficult, the economy is bad, So what? Do something about it. Can you change the economy? No. Okay, what can you change?
My life, my decision, what I say, what I do.
Then why don't you focus on that? Why don't you focus on what you can affect? Instead of talking about things that you cannot affect. Oh, the world is coming to an end. ISIS is cutting all the heads in the world. And so what? What can you do about that? You must control your life. Your life, not even the life of your family. It's your life. If you can't control your life, how the hell will you positively affect the life of your loved ones? You've got to focus first on yourself. It's not something for the rest of the world. And guys have something about that, right? Because we are the breadwinner. We are expected to succeed. It is in our DNA to provide. At what cost? What cost? What is your cost? Yeah, you're there to provide, but you're there to live. And you will make a greater impact on your children if you are able to demonstrate that you can live happy. That you can be in a state of mind regardless of the challenges. Happy. Next. Why good people quit their job? Why do so many partners in FM quit their FM business? Why? The primary reason is that people choose to leave their job is because they have a poor relationship with their boss or a poor relationship with their partners in FM. I'm going to stop FM because somebody was rude to me or somebody stole one of my partners. I'm going to give up on my dreams. I'm going to quit something because of poor relationship. We only learn one thing. We have a conflict, we ignore it. Or we fight. Ignoring and fighting is zero. Will get you nowhere. You want to succeed, you've got to bring it back together. And I will show you today how to do that. I'm going to give you the power today. You will leave today from this training so powerful that if you begin to practice these techniques on a regular basis, in 5 years, nobody can touch you. You will be a Kung Fu master of emotion. Because that's what you can do. Next. Okay, so we're going to break down the thing. Okay, the first thing conceptually with EQ is personal competence. What I see. Okay, and it's broken down into what I see and what I do on personal levels. That means what I see. Okay, you're angry. Okay, I'm angry. Somebody said something rude to you. What do you see? Your self-awareness. I'm pissed off with you. Be self-aware of your emotion. That's the first thing you must do. If you want to be a Kung Fu master of emotional intelligence, you must be self-aware. I'm angry. I feel anger. She pissed me off. You don't want to say it. You want to recognize what you're feeling. Because it's important. You have a right to feel the emotions. Okay? Then, what do? Okay, if I'm pissed off with you, what can I do? I can take a knife and go. That's one choice, right? Or, I can take a break, think about it. I can start thinking of ways I can hurt you back, right? Or I can think of ways of talking, okay? Self-management. How do you manage the data that's coming in? Self-management. And then you have your social competence, which is the social awareness. How is your environment affected by these emotions? How is the person in front of you reacting to your behavior and your self-management? And then your relationship management, right? How do you manage that relationship? So if I have an issue with you, how do I manage it? Right? Because that's important. But I can't manage our conflict if I cannot manage my emotions. So the first thing is managing the emotion before being able to manage the relationship. Next. So the first one we'll talk about, self-awareness. Self-awareness is your ability to accurately recognize your emotions as they happen and understand your general tendencies for responding to different people and situations. Okay? So you have somebody is upset at work. Okay? A colleague is not behaving properly, and she's saying, I have a, you're just not doing the work they're supposed to do, and you pissed me off. Okay? How do you feel? You have to start thinking. Identify my feeling. Irritated, anxious. You have to feel it. It's important. Don't ignore it. Feel it. Okay? Okay. Pissed off. Okay. Okay. There it is. Okay. I understand. Okay. Say nothing. Next. Self-management. Your ability to accurately recognize your emotions as they happen and understand your general tendency, again, for responding to different people and situations. How do you manage it? Next. Can I manage my emotions and behavior to a positive outcome? So if you said, I hate you, you did this, you're stupid, blah, 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 can I take that feeling, first, can I take the data, be aware of my feeling, and somehow kung fu it, turn it into a positive outcome? Is it possible to do that? What do you think?
Yes.
It's possible. Is it difficult to do that? Yeah, because nobody taught us this, right? Maybe if you have like one of those macho dad, right, and you're 3 years old, Daddy, the boy hit me in school. Well, hit him back harder, boy. Yeah, hit him a good one in the face so he knows not to do it again. You have this type of dad, or Mommy, this boy hit me. Tell me, and I will go speak to the parents, and I'm gonna knock that little boy's face. What other things? Mommy, the boy hit me. Ignore it. Let it go. Not important. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
All the wrong things. We are taught from childhood all the wrong techniques. And guess what? The techniques that your parents taught you when you were 2 and 3 years old are the same techniques you're using today at work. And you're wondering, why do I have so many conflicts? Why am I not succeeding? Why am I always angry and not happy? Because we are not taught the most important things you need to know. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you know the moment. Oh, are you having the moment or not yet? You're having it? Kind of say, yeah, I think so, but I'm not yet sure how to handle it. And wait. Next, self-management strategies. Okay, the first one is don't ignore it. Do not ignore it. You know what mommy says? Oh, don't worry about it, dear. It's not a problem. Let it go. Forgive. Right? Admit what happened. No, mom. I'm feeling hurt. No, my husband, you spoke to me in an incorrect way. I'm not going to ignore it. It's a fact. Second, don't ignore it. Again, admit what's happening. You follow? You see? What do you get? What do you get from this? Which is? Don't ignore it. What do you learn from this? Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. So if somebody bothers you, Faith, you don't ignore it. You take it in. Next, I'm going to tell you a technique that is part of the Kung Fu technique that you will learn. And I call this the 6-second pause. But if you're married, anybody's married in the room, raise your hand, don't be shy. Anyone married? Anyone has a girlfriend, boyfriend? Yes. Okay. If you have boyfriend and girlfriend or husband or wife, don't use 6 seconds, use 60 seconds. Put a 0 in front of that 6. You follow me? Because you need extra time. 6 seconds is not enough. Okay? You ever heard crime of passion? Ever heard crime of passion? They start arguing, and then one person picks up the knife and kill him. You're like, I didn't know what I was doing, but he was deserving, and he's dead. Oh my God. You know it happens in the world. Crime of passion. He cheated on me. I'll show him. Well, like cheating is worth killing, you know? Because is the person emotionally intelligent? No. No way. There was no emotion. It was out the door. It was full 0 EQ, right? So you understand that if you have 0 EQ, you become a criminal, a murderer, an axe murderer. So when something happens and somebody goes, "Hey, you stupid! Watch where you're going!" What do you do? What do you do?
6 seconds.
6-second pause. Listen to this. You stupid idiot! Watch where you're going! And then, do you think that person will still be there most likely if you're driving? No. You're gone. You're gone. Because you're driving. Oh, there's somebody here! You breathe. You have to breathe. The 6-second rule must be about breathing. Okay? So, and you do that. Imagine at your work. I want my work, I want. You know how scared the people are when they see you do that? Huh? The feelings. It's a way of power. But that's not enough, right? I'm going to show you the other techniques. Don't get too anxious, okay? We're going to get there. You don't have everything today. Next. Social awareness, recognizing and understanding the emotions and mood of other individuals and the entire groups. Have you ever had a business meeting where co-workers are arguing? You saw it, right? And what did you want to do? He escaped. He's like, oh, Johnny's fighting with Jessica. I gotta go. It's affecting every move around. Okay? Because that's counterproductive. When the conflict comes out, if it's not being managed properly, everybody wants to move away. Right? Next. Social awareness strategies. What's below the surface? So what do you look for? You look for behavior, clothing, language, gender, age, religion, and title. It's important, right? It's important to be aware of who you're speaking to. If you're speaking to a Filipino, it will be different than speaking to an Indian. Even if you are both human beings and you have feelings, there are different cultural differences, right? There are different things. In this world, it's very difficult, right? You came from Qatar and you work in hospitality, and it's very difficult when we're all mixed with so many nationalities, because there's so many different religions, so many different cultures, so many different psychology, so many different experiences, that it is a very difficult thing to learn to manage, but it is where you will grow the most. The more conflicts, the more challenging, the stronger you will become. So if you're in Philippines, if only Philippines talking to Filipinos, it's easy to understand how they react because you already in your blood, you know how to deal with it. Even if you're not managing it properly, the challenge is not as complex as if all of a sudden you're with an Arab coming straight from the Philippines, like, and you're like, you know, you want to give them a bullet, you know, but you can't. Different, right? So the differences really make it difficult, but at the same time, it provides you with an opportunity for growth, personal growth. Next. So for example, here's a typical example. If you do this in the UK or USA, it's like, hey, okay, man, you're cool, dude. Okay? But in Russia, what does this mean? Zero. Right?
It's okay also.
It's okay also, but it could be zero. And in Brazil, it's not nice. In Brazil, I don't want to tell you what it means, but if you do this in Brazil to everybody, you'll see what happens. Oh, why did you hit me, man? I just said it's okay. Muito obrigado. Fala comigo agora. Okay, in Japan, it's money, 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 honey.
Same with Philippines.
Same with Philippines, right? So you see? So it means different things. We react differently to different things, and we have to be aware. This is why sometimes when we're fighting or have conflicts, it is not sometimes something that is really bad. You can have two great people with good hearts just fighting because of a misunderstanding or a miscommunication. That's your opportunity to grow. Anybody who wants to succeed in business or in management level needs to learn emotional intelligence. Because without it, you can't manage effectively. Next. Okay, so self-awareness is listen. What is said? How is it said? Right? How is it said? Okay. For example, have you ever met people who will say bad things, just yelling, but the actions are good? Have you ever seen this type of people? But what do you need? Do you need help? I'll be there for you. You know? But they're just or something, they say stupid things, but the actions are actually good in nature. Right? So sometimes the things you say, what comes out of the mouth, is not necessarily a pure reflection of your actions. Don't listen to her words, watch her action. You ever heard that before? I learned that with my wife. Don't listen to her words. Always ugly. 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 But I watch the action. And then I'm like, she's not so bad at all. Oh, she has a great heart. Oh, she's very loyal. Oh, the action will reveal. So sometimes we have to be careful how the words come out. And who is a perfect example today, who's very famous right now, Kabayan should all know, that is messing up with the words. Who? Duterte, the president. Every time he comes out on TV, the whole world hates him.
But he speaks truly.
It doesn't matter. He's not learning emotional intelligence. You see? So he's not effective on the speaking part. That doesn't mean his actions are not good. That's a perfect example. Exactly. But imagine if the words were matching the action. Imagine the power it would have. Because in life, you always need to be careful what you say. Because certain people may be offended. And that's the ultimate power. The ultimate power is when actions equals the words. But that's different people, different stroke. And that's why it's important sometimes to learn what is said and how it is said, but also watch the action. Because if you watch the action, you can forgive the words. Right? But if you have both, power, the ultimate power, it's not easy. Sometimes you listen to words, like the previous administration, and the actions are terrible.
Yeah.
Okay? So you still prefer the action versus the word. But again, if you have both, that's the ultimate power. Next. So social awareness strategies, see the whole picture. Don't grasp onto one observation. When somebody attacks you, you feel attacked, right? It's a personal attack against my identity and my pride. Right? It's like almost as if like the whole world revolves around you, you know? But just rest a little bit, take 2 steps, breathe in and out, try to understand the situation, see the social awareness, try to look at the actions, analyze the whole picture. If you're married or you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, add a 0 after the 6th day. So you respond instead of react. What you do not want to do is react. Like, for example, in some of our meetings, there is a comment, you react. That's our process. Think, and then that will give you 5 times more power. Want to read it? It gives you a lot of power. Don't react. Okay? Don't react. Respond. But in order to respond intelligently and strategically, you must allow for the emotions to pass. Otherwise, and you'll comment. This is why in meetings or in management, people get broken if they're not careful on how to process their response. Their response should not be filled. But you did this because, what is this, 2 children? You did your opinion. Let me give you my opinion on that. Number one, number two. Do you have any observation or comments on what I just said? Well, and they will lose. Because you see, if you act very calm, very strategic, and very together, you will always dominate every situation. Because people are just emotional. They lose it. They can't handle it. It's like they make themselves sick before a meeting just to respond with big time. Right? So it is very, very important, okay, to really learn to respond versus react. Why do we react? Tell me why. Why do we react instead of respond? But why is that? Because of what you've been taught. It's as simple as that. It's a taught thing. We are taught to react, not respond. You're stupid. Well, you're more stupid than me. No. Take 2 steps back. Breathe. 1, 2, 3. 6-second pause and say, you have your opinion, but I don't agree. You may think I'm stupid, but I will choose to forgive you and move on. I release you from my expectation because that's what I believe. But I respect you. Thank you. You do not allow for your space to be interrupted by a reaction. You control that reaction. But in order to be able to be in this space, you yourself must be in pure control with your emotions. So if you're a very emotional person, like I am, you have to learn to shut up. Learn to shut the hell up and wait. I'm a Kung Fu master. And think. Go into your own space, a little garden, flooding, putting the roses, and you're happy. You get a little bunny around. Create your own little circle of excellence. Nice. You can't touch it. Okay? Next. Okay, what is a fantastic technique that will give you power and dominance over your conflict? The power. Empathy. Anybody knows empathy? Anybody? Exactly. So, you have your husband, your colleague, whatever. You know, when we went out to dinner yesterday with the friends, you just ignored me. You're so rude. Okay? So, what do? 6-second pause, but if you're married or you have a boyfriend, what did I tell you? Add the 0 after the 60 seconds. Be aware of your feelings. Okay, I feel angry. She's rude to me. Think it in your head, get that feeling out, okay? And then, okay, darling. Can I ask you, how did I accept you? Well, you just did this and that and that. You know, maybe you're right. What do you mean? I'm not. Are you inconsiderate? You know what? I actually did. Maybe you're right. Would you accept my apology? Because we are married. We're going to go home together tonight. Well, you maybe not. Okay. Would you like a little bit of time? Because maybe you're right. Maybe I should put myself in your shoes. And maybe I ignored you and failed to be the caring and nurture you needed in your life. Can you forgive me? No. What about if I invite you for a nice ice cream? Well, okay. Let me think about it. Okay. Tell me what you would have liked you to do, so next time I know how to respect your feelings?
Well, first of all, you know when you were sitting in saying that, and you always do that.
Really? You mean yesterday when I was sitting with you and told you how beautiful you were, I was also being rude?
Well, not that, but normally you were like that.
Can you give me other example, darling, when I was rude to you?
Well, I'll come back to you.
Are you okay now? Do you want to take a deep breath? You kill it. You understand? You kill it. Now some man will say, I'm not going to bow down to her. I'm a man. Right, Bilal? The woman has to listen to me. But if you do that, it's good when you are young and not married. When you are married, Bilal, everything changes. Because the harmony of your environment depends on your ability to manage it. And a woman is difficult to manage. You're not manageable. Okay? What you can manage, however, is your emotion. That does not mean you give up. It means that you decided to, let's say, you are my friend. And I decide you're my friend. If really I care about you as a friend, I want to figure out how to overcome the conflicts we may have. Because I care more about your friendship than my pride to make a point. I care about the friendship. If you meet a woman and inshallah you marry her one day, okay, you will learn that you will need to manage that relationship. Because if you chose that person, then you want to learn to be in harmony. That does not mean agree. You can say, for example, you just ignored me last night. Okay, I understand how you felt. I don't feel this. And I didn't feel I disrespected you. But you're entitled to your feelings. But I'm entitled to my feelings too. So why don't we try next time to compromise? Doesn't mean you're giving up. You're saying, I'm not wrong. But you're saying it in a way where the person in front of you will say, because you still want to go home with her. Right? Right? So it's the power of the management of the conflict, right? Empathy is always good. By the way, is it good or bad to cry in a movie? Very good. It's okay? Yeah. Hi, baby. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to let go of your emotions. You know what I tell people all the time? If you are a human being, you have emotions. So, if we cried when we were 2 years old, why would it not be okay to cry when we're 25? Because you know, the physical impact that crying has is actually very good for your body. Do you know that? Because you release things. It's a mechanism, it's a physiological phenomenon that helps you expose your thing. It is good to cry. Have a good cry. I can't cry in real life. But if you put me in front of a movie, I'm the biggest cry there. I love you. But in life, I can't cry. I'll kill you. Okay. I can't. But a movie, I love it. That's why I always love going to a movie, because it's such a good cry. You know, and when I'm sitting next to, these guys next to her, I'm trying to go, they can't see me, and then the light goes on. And I'm okay. Okay? Next. Relationship management. I already told you that. That's very important. Let's move on to the next part. Okay, so can I sense and accurately identify your emotions and tendencies as I interact with you? So meaning, if I'm sitting in a meeting and I'm saying, okay, Donna, we have a little problem. The other day, we were speaking, and I have mentioned something to you, and you forgot this. So I'm going to look at the composure, right? I'm going to look at the reaction, You know, I'm going to look at the reaction, because the reaction is going to tell me if she's in control of her emotions. Very good. Control of her emotions. I'm going to look for ways to point out that, hey, Donna, it's okay to have a conflict. You know, many people avoid talking to each other because they avoid conflicts. The reason they avoid conflicts is because they don't know how to manage the emotions around the conflicts. But conflicts is the best thing you can have. Every morning at 9 a.m. here we have our directors meeting for all the companies. And we invite the people to talk, to contribute not only about the updates of the company, but also about their challenges. And we invite conflicts. So if somebody has a problem with someone, we want them to discuss it, because they're going to, it's going to be like this. And we will say, okay, relax. Now this is how it's done. You will explain why you're thinking like this, and we help create an environment inside the company to the point that now we are learning how to welcome conflicts in our lives because we're able to manage it. And you learn the most when you are able to master management of conflicts. I am telling you that right now. Everywhere I walk through, all the biggest companies, governments, anywhere, people do not understand the power of emotional intelligence. The ones who are capable of mastering the art of Kung Fu in emotional intelligence makes you so powerful in life that anybody could come to you with all the anger in the world and you're going to Kung Fu it in minutes, seconds. Absolute seconds. And you need to. That's okay. Realize that we're about this. Okay? So you need to really train the muscle of that. Learn to welcome conflict. Okay? So what do you do if you have a conflict? Tell me first to see which one actually listen to me. What do you do first when somebody yells at you?
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath and?
6-second pause.
Add a 0 if you are. Okay? Add a 0. Okay? Then what else do you do? Don't react. Respond. Very good, guys. You're like masters already. Are you serious that you actually listen to me? Wow! I'm impressed. You guys are like sober, emotional, intelligent people. Okay? And then you respond, right? By being first self-aware of your emotions, right? First self-aware of your emotions, right? And then you must control the environment in front of you, right? Next, very good. So, what's required of us? Well, you need to evaluate your needs versus their needs. So there's always in conflict one and one, right? A conflict, can you have a conflict with yourself?
Sometimes.
Yes, you can. Yes. Because you see, this is what we do also. And sometimes we don't know how to manage our own conflicts with ourselves. For example, I'm upset with life. I don't have what I want. But at the same time, I'm alive. But I'm not where I want to be. And you're having conflicts all the time. You're going back and forth with yourself, and you're not finding a solution to your conflict. So you can be in conflict with yourself, just like you can be in conflict with another person. And it's not having split personality, because some people say, you're talking to yourself, you're like a wacko, you're not so good. No, it's okay. I'm an only child, and I used to talk to myself looking at the mirror. Alex, you're pissing me off. Well, you too. You know? And then, people would walk by, is this guy normal? And And so I found it normal because I was talking to myself. Sometimes I was upset with myself and sometimes I would love myself. Okay, conflict is part of life. We want conflict. You want conflict. But how do you manage conflicts? Maria, how do you manage conflict at home? Do you yell? Yes, you are a yeller, aren't you? Is Mommy a yeller? Yes, you are. Yes, she is. But after tonight, she won't yell anymore. Because she will not react. She will respond. Even if you take apart the TV. So tonight, just go and take it apart. I know you love taking apart things. Just take it apart. Watch. Mommy won't say anything. And Maria's like, shut up. You're crazy. You're telling that to my son? Don't worry, I've got your back. Okay, study your needs versus their needs. What are your needs, Daisy? What is your need? What do you want in life? Daisy's like, don't put me on the spot. I'm holding the phone. Yeah? You want happiness? You want money? How much money? How much is a lot?
Millions.
Millions. Some people say billions. It depends. Million pesos or million dollars. Oh, you want $800, huh? That's just like, I don't play. Give me the big thing. Okay. You need to always know what the people need. No? This is important in a relationship. When you have a friend, when you have a colleague or husband, boyfriend, what do you need in this relationship? Are you happy in this relationship? Well, now that you mention it, I'm not quite happy. What do you need? Well, I want money. Okay, well, you can get a job too. Huh? What? Me? Get a job? What are your needs? I want something. Okay, are you willing to work for it? Understand what the people need. Okay, next. Okay, so the whole picture allows you to do what? Once you have the whole picture, it allows you to better understand others. When you're able to step back and analyze the situation, it really helps you, right? You don't have bad intentions when you yell at home, right? You're just reacting. You're just a big ball of emotion, Maria. All the time, right? She's like, yes, Mommy's like that. Okay? But if you have the whole picture and you're not reacting and responding, then it helps you also understand things better. It also helps you provide helpful feedback. When you're not yelling, you say, why did you take apart the TV? Tell me, what is your fascination about taking apart things? Well, I'm bored and I need you, Mommy. So I like when you yell at me because you're not at home. So I have to break something so you pay attention. Ah, so now we know the truth. You see, so don't tell us a secret. Continue to take things apart. Communicate, and communication is the response you get. Identify the problems before they escalate. See the problems. You know, okay, how the problem can turn into a crime of passion, right? Right? You know how to do that. You know how to make somebody more angry by just keeping on reacting. If you keep reacting, you escalate the issue. You escalate to the point that it can turn into a physical fight, right? It can turn violent. So try to identify the real problems. When somebody says, well, I hate you. It's not that he hates you. Why do you hate me, Alex? Because you ignored me the other day. When? Yeah, Wednesday you came and you just passed in front of me and you ignored me. Before you used to not ignore me. I didn't know you were there. Maybe you did that. Remember this thing you said, Sir Alex, you didn't say hello to me the other day. You were upset with me. I said, Daisy, I didn't even see you. Yeah, exactly. I'm so sorry, Daisy. And she said, okay. See, I had to diffuse it because if Daisy at first, she'll boycott me. You know? She said, I didn't like you anymore. I liked you before. You ignored me. You understand, identify. Make better decisions, right? If you see the whole picture, you can make better decisions. If you step back, if you analyze, if you look at the action versus the words, you can really become more effective in making smarter and better decisions. But it needs to come out. And obviously, once you do that, you're clear so you can see and you can seize opportunities because it's clear. Once the whole emotions is out of the way, then you can really make smart decisions, okay? And you can really grab the opportunity. But if you're around the whole day, you won't see anything. You won't see happiness, you won't see your future husband, you won't see anything. It's just, get it out, clear it up, clear the air. Take a deep breath. Do some breathing exercise. It's the best thing. Breathing. Nobody breathes. Are you breathing right now?
Yes.
But you're not even breathing. You're like, are you really breathing? Right? If you breathe very heavily, you'll even get like lightheaded sometimes, no? Because you're not even used to getting that oxygen in. But you need oxygen, right? And you need a lot of oxygen. Next. I inspire and influence people when I listen to complaints and ideas objectively. So tell me what your problems are. Well, my problems and this and this, and I say, no, wait, I know how to solve it. Listen to it. Listen to it. Let the people complain. Tell me, darling, what you're upset about. And you will not stop. Let it go. Let the speaking take place, the emotion. Because then you'll find out what she really is upset about. She will not tell you what she's upset about. She will tell you about everything else except the truth. So let really tell me when and then get to the truth. Because we lie a lot. As adults, we're the biggest liar on the universe. Kids don't lie. You can tell them, they'll tell you the truth in your face. But if you ask an adult, are you happy? Yes. Sure. Okay. Liar. Pants are on fire. Come on. Of course we lie. We need to get to the truth. How do you get to the truth? Is by digging for the emotions, the real reason why you are so upset, or so hurt, or so anxious, or so stressed. Well, it's too difficult, this job. Okay, tell me really what's really upsetting. Well, because it's not happening. Why is it not happening? Ask questions. Every time you get time, ask more questions. You're like an explorer when you're an EQ expert. You have to let the people dig in what's really happening behind. What's the real reason why you're upset? Okay, dig, ask questions, find out the truth. All adults are the biggest liars in the world, 100% of them. They will never tell you the real reason why they're upset. They will tell you everything else before you find out the truth. So you have to be like Christopher Columbus. You have to look. Right? I inspire and influence people when I find ways to recognize and reward good work. So if you're in the management field or if you're coaching, you need to tell good work. You did a fantastic job yesterday. Okay? You reward people by telling you did great. Okay? But you have opportunities to improve in this area. Right? Provide regular sources of information. Okay? I don't know how to do that. Okay. You go look in the encyclopedia, page 12. Give them some information. Strive to improve working conditions. How do you improve working conditions? By creating an environment where we are inviting conflict, but we are learning to manage them in a proper way, in a productive way. We have our feelings, but we have a job to do and we have a goal to do. Right? How do you build the UAE when there was nothing but sand here? By all the Emiratis fighting every day? No! By putting the emotions aside, being focused on a goal. That's the strength of EQ, right? Is being focused on your goal. If you are signing up inside FM, are you focused on your business? Because if you're not focused on the business, and you're focused on the emotions, or you're letting the emotion ride your common sense, you will achieve nothing. You will quit. You will not go anywhere. You must stay very focused. Okay? Involve everyone as appropriate in decision making. Don't be the dictator. Let the people come back to you. Slowly allow people to provide you with feedback, ideas to better and improve the current situation. Allow people to become who they were destined to be. You must create this environment. If you don't create the environment, if you make them shut up and you do anything, how are they ever going to grow? Okay? Provide opportunities for advancement. Don't hold back somebody who wants to eat up the world. But also, don't throw them out necessarily out the window if they're not ready, because then they will fall flat on their face, and that's suicide. Right? Some people will learn to fly because they don't want to fall, and others will crack. But you have to identify. Build loyalty to the organization. If you have an organization with your partners, you have to build a system of loyalty, where everybody is loyal, not to you, not to me in FM, but to the mission. Is the mission the same as everyone else's mission? Is the mission is to reach some sort of happiness, freedom, financial independence, whatever it is. Pledge loyalty to that mission. Never pledge loyalty to one person per se. Pledge loyalty to a mission, to what you hold dear to your heart. Praise good performance publicly. Don't be afraid to praise. People love to be praised, you know? We're human beings. We like to get a little pat in the back and say, you're doing a great job, man. You really, this guy is doing fantastic. He's here all the time, and despite all the challenges, he's still sitting here. Elmer is here. That means he didn't give up on himself. That means he didn't give up on the mission. That means he didn't give up on his dreams. Okay? Praise it publicly. Everybody needs a little bit of a push and a praise. Counsel poor performance privately. It's also very good sometimes when some things are going wrong to take the person to the side and really try to work on that person's weaknesses. You know? And especially right in the Filipino community, it's something in the Philippines I learned very quickly when I was working there, is you do not blah, blah, blah in front of everybody. Very bad move. You have to take it to the side, and you have to explain to them what it is. There's a way of doing it. So of course, when Filipinos come to work here, and then the people here are just shouting in front of everyone, wow, terrible. They're never going to get somebody to grow in their company. They're going to get an employee who's pissed off. An employee will do everything not to work, and maybe a lot more. So we have to learn to respect people's feelings, no? And that's one way of respecting them, is not by shouting necessarily, but by pulling people to the side. Nurture a sense of shared value in team players, right? Some people are great as a team player, and others need a lot of work as a team. But we cannot achieve anything in this company or anywhere if there's not a team spirit. If people have issues with working in a team, they will have issues all their lives to achieve any sort of success. The earliest you learn how to work with people, the faster you will become successful. And when people say, well, I like to lead, okay, but you must lead by example. If you cannot yet become that example, don't expect to be a good leader, or even a leader people will respect. You must learn to become that leader. Leaders don't just run, he's a leader. It's not like none of us are born with a silver spoon in the mouth. We have to earn that leadership position. Okay, so that's important for you to know this. Give feedback, performance, appraisals, and motivation. Motivation is something that everybody needs. In this company, we do this. This should be full of people. There should be people lined up here, because what we are giving here for free to you is something nobody does inside the UAE. And we do it for free for anybody. And these sometimes seminars can cost thousands of dollars. People would hire people like me to teach this in companies. It's free. Of course, when you give it free, nobody's here. So people are starving for motivation. They're starving for hope. They're starving for happiness, and nobody's here tonight. And we're here to give the answers. We have the answers. Every single answer you require to achieve success are here. And yet, people are not here. Why? Question. Why do you think?
Because it's free.
Huh? made it also with the price. Nobody came.
Because they think there is much.
Exactly. They lost faith. Exactly. You're absolutely right. People lose hope. They lost faith. And even though you tell them that this is the most important things you will need in your life, they don't believe. And often people are afraid of happiness and success. I tell 90% of the world say they want to succeed and they want happiness, but they do not want it. They're afraid of happiness and they're afraid of success. The biggest fear is the fear of success. The biggest. And especially if you're not born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you really, at your age, think you don't deserve it. Even if you say, I know I deserve it, but it's not true. You don't believe that. You're lying. Somehow there is something in the back of your mind who says you don't deserve it. And it's the wrong thinking. And you stay with that thinking outside. Instead of coming here, a lot of people can come here and gain the knowledge and say, I can do this. I can make my life better. Imagine we're a company selling perfumes and I'm here teaching for free emotional intelligence to anyone who wants to hear it for free. And that learning you can take with you to anywhere else around the world. This is power. And so next time we have this type of meeting, I really invite you to bring people, to really let people hear things that can be beneficial for them. Share my knowledge. Make sure each person feels important. Do you believe you're important?
Yes.
Absolutely. You are important. If you're born into the world, make no mistake, you have a purpose. Even a murderer has a purpose in this world. Everyone has a purpose. This is what we were created for. This is out of our power. This is from above. If you're born into the world, you must exist in this world. You have a purpose. The question is, do you know what that purpose is? Are you searching for that purpose? Do you know really what you want? Are you actually doing something today that makes you happy? Are you surrounded by the people who make you happy? All these questions are questions only you can answer. Yes. Oh, thank you. So thank you very much, Rob. So I think that we covered, this seminar was really about an introduction. So it was not going too deep, but this is the first introduction. Did you like what you, was it helpful?
Yes.
Was it helpful? Would you recommend it to your loved ones?
Yes.
Will you next time when you see a poster, bring all your friends?
Yes.
And most importantly, take this learning and don't just throw it out the window. Practice it. Practice it. I beg of you, practice it, guys. When somebody starts yelling, take that 6-second breathing exercise and add a 0 if it's your wife or husband. Okay? Remember that. Okay. So anyway, anyone has questions, anything you'd like to ask, or you're okay? Okay? Everyone's happy? Okay, well I want to thank everyone. I want to thank also the people in Oman, in Qatar. I don't know if you have people right now signed up there. But thank you very much for listening. I wish you a wonderful evening and bless you all. Thank you. Yes, you can announce the next event, please.
Hi. So our next upcoming event is on Friday. We're going to do a free makeup workshop on Friday. That's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Again, 5 o'clock here in the UAE. As for the other countries, Qatar and Oman, we're going to do life-changing tour with Mr. Alexander Michaels by October. So again, you can come here on the, everyone is invited, members and guests, on the 14th here in the UAE, on the 21st in,
Yes.
yeah, on the 21st in Qatar, and 28th in Oman. Okay, that's the life-changing tour.